Today, I'm going to commit the ultimate sacrilege. Don't go away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And indeed, I'm going to commit complete and utter sacrilege. It's Redline Day, and the Three Blind Mice, along with the Four Horsemen, were hosting this Redline Day build. Okay, so we're all taking out some Redline and we're trying to do something fabulous. Well, I'm going to do a specific Redline, and I'm not going to restore it. It's not even going to get Spectraflame paint. This is going to go custom. And when you hear what the car is, your skin may crawl. Okay, it may crawl. I'm going to take a Redline Dodge Charger and do a custom. There's a lot to tell about that casting, and we'll get into that as we start building. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today to celebrate Redline Day 2022. Let's get to work. So as I mentioned, today I'm going to be working on the custom Charger that was released by Mattel in 1969. It was only a product for 3 years, and it's super, super popular. So what I'm going to do to it today may not be for the faint of heart, okay? Because I'm not going to do a restoration to this. I could. I don't want to. So there's that. So there are so many moving parts to this build here. I'm going to have to kind of go in a different direction than I normally do, and I'm going to have to explain some things to you, like how I got this casting, because I don't know if you can tell or not, but I am actually riddled with guilt about this casting. You see, what happened was myself and Paul Bechtel of Diecast Graveyard, we had arranged a trade. I was going to give him a casting that he was looking for, and he was going to give me a Charger. So he got his in the mail right away. I had to go find mine because I was pretty sure I had it. I just didn't know where it was. And when I found it, I looked at it. It wasn't really a candidate for a restoration because it was in such good condition, and I still started having real serious pangs about getting rid of it. I couldn't bring myself to swap it away. It was the only one I had, and I probably wouldn't be able to get another one. And so I talked to Paul, and I said, hey, I'd like to pull the deal out. And Paul had already shipped the Charger to me. So I was like, oh, well, I'll send it back. And he's like, no, keep it. Don't worry about it. He says, well, I'm not worried about it. Paul was Paul. Okay, he was amazingly cool about the whole thing. To me, I felt like what I did was a dick move. And I have been guilt-ridden ever since, even though Paul was like, nah, don't even worry about it. So that's how I got this car. But today, I find an opportunity to make amends. Because, Paul, I hope you're watching. I'm sending you this car when I'm done. All right? That's my way of saying thank you for letting me play with it. I'm going to send it back to you, and I hope it's something that you end up really, really enjoying. It's also my way of saying sorry for being such a jerk and doing that dick move. Anyhow, so that's the plan. I'm going to do this build. I'm going to send it back to Paul, and hopefully my guilt will be gone with that. Okay, so anyhow, now let's talk more about the sacrilegious move I'm going to make. I'm going to paint this in opaque paint, okay? And I know a lot of people are just cringing at the notion of that, but I have a vision of how this car is going to look, and I have to roll with it, okay? So This is not going to be a restoration of a 69 custom Charger. It's going to be a custom Charger. And I think it's going to look amazing. At least I hope so. Now, let's get into the next part after the cuckoo clock is done ringing. Do you guys mind the cuckoo clock? Put in the comments down below if that bothers you or not. I can stop it if I have to, but I like the sounds of it. Anyhow, where was I? See, this is how I am. Sometimes I'm a real okay, I know where I'm at. Okay, I'm a real flibberty gibbet sometimes. But anyhow, so let's get back to what I was saying. This casting is getting a paint job and homemade decals. And you know what has happened the last couple times that I've done that? I've been getting these pinholes in the clear coat. And I've been having to paint these things multiple times. And I got to be honest, I'm getting sick and tired of having to repaint my castings over and over and over again. So I'm a little freaked out, I got to be honest. I've been doing this for a long time now, and I'm a little freaked out. But I've done some research. And what I'm being told is that I need to let the coats dry longer in between. And instead of doing my normal situation, do a tack coat, let it dry for, full 10 minutes. Then go straight to wet coat. Okay, that way you're reducing the number of coats. So that's what we're going to try. But we're going to go ahead and, as you see here, we're going to start off with some Tamiya Fine Primer in white to really help the color that I'm going to use, Competition Green from the Redline shop, to really help make that color pop. I got to tell you, I own a Henny Orange Dodge Challenger, a real one, and I love the color of it, but short of that orange, Competition Green would be my favorite color on a car. And in fact, it might actually be number one right now because I don't own a car in Competition Green. So anyhow, this is going to get a Competition Green. The white base is really going to make that just pop. And then the car is going to be featuring white accents. Now, I'm already in trouble here. And I just don't know it yet. I'm painting the Competition Green down onto the car, and it looks like it's going just perfectly normally. It's not going to be until I start putting on the wet coats of the green that I notice that I'm getting a lot of orange peel. And I'm really not doing anything different. And I don't actually even understand why this is happening. I'm going to find out later, but let me give you this cautionary tale and a bit of advice. Don't push a bad position like you see me doing here. Even though it's all orange peely, I'm thinking, well, it'll smooth out with the clear coat. And so I'm moving ahead. This is going to take a lot of work with these decals, a double layer of decals to really make the white pop. And I'm moving forward with it, and this is a huge mistake. As soon as I saw a problem, I should have stopped what I was doing, threw the car back in the stripper, and fixed it. Because I'll tell you, pushing the bad position never, ever works out. All you're doing is wasting time, effort, and money, okay? So, listen, know when to throw in the towel and save yourself all of those headaches, unlike what you're seeing me do here. So anyhow, I made these great decals. It's a white stripe that will go over the trunk, and it's got little RTs knocked out of it so that you'll see the actual Competition Green poking through it on each rear quarter panel. So it's going to look fantastic, I think. I'm a little leery about doing a double because the RT is so delicate and it has to be lined up so perfect, but it actually worked out great and looked superb. A lot of setting solution, make sure everything lays down flat, let it dry really, really well, then put the second decal on it, let it dry really, really well, and then once that's done, we can get over to the paint booth. Anyhow, in the interim, I might as well keep myself busy while everything is drying, and I'm going to go ahead and polish the windshield. I've told you time and again about Flitz. It's the one-stop shop, man. I'm telling you, Flitz, will polish your plastics, your clear glass, your bases, your bodies, whatever you need. And yeah, you might be able to find other stuff that does a good job, but you're not going to find anything that does as good a job with as little effort. This stuff is phenomenal. You can find it by going to my Amazon shop at www.amazon.com/shop/Paul Udelis. And I also have the Flitz Calcium Rust and Lime Remover, which I have found now and is wonderful. Love it. But yeah, so trust me on this one. You're going to love some Flitz. Okay, so anyhow, the windshield's all polished. I'm going to dip it in the gauzy, wick away the excess, and put it aside to dry. Okay, so the base is a little scrunchy. The wheels gotta go. And okay, so we've talked about this a lot. And while I straighten the axles out, let me just tell you, these wheels are for sure getting cut off. And why? Okay, I've heard some people say, well, try to pull them off. Well, I can tell you, these hubs are loose. Okay, there is no way in the world you're going to pull these wheels off and not yank a hub off. Okay, so they're going to get completely cut off. Otherwise, I'm going to ruin my axles, and that's the last thing on earth I want to do. Now, of course, you know how I'm going to replace the wheels. It's supposed to have 4 medium wheels. You know what I'm going to do, so I don't even need to mention it. So anyhow, I've got the axle straightened out. I'm going to go ahead and spritz the base down with the Flitz Calcium Rust and Lime. And as soon as it's on there, I'll immediately walk to the bathroom to wash this off. That's how fast this stuff works. Once I get back, all I need to do now is give it a dry. I'll hit it up with the brass bristle brush, and then I'll go ahead and polish it out with Flitz and a buffing wheel on my rotary tool. And this thing is going to just shine like a penny. It's going to be great. Now, you're going to put a lot of work into your base, okay? It's just how it's going to go. And, because you want the car to look well done all the way around. So once we're done polishing, we want to protect that. And how are we going to protect that? Of course, we're going to use Renaissance wax. Now, like I've told you, Renaissance wax is something I found from doing coin rings. And after I'm done with the coin rings, I'll coat them in this wax to protect the finish. It's non-permanent. It provides a barrier around the item so that oxygen can't get to it and it doesn't degrade. And it's fantastic stuff. It's easy to apply. Smear it on, wipe it off, and you're good to go. But, don't waste all of this work polishing and then leave your metal untreated. A little jar of Renaissance wax will last you for years. Trust me, I know. So the Charger was only made in the U.S., and it always had what they called the white interior and the clear glass. The interior was kind of white, but not white enough. I needed it to be white, okay? So here I am painting it with some Tamiya flat white just to get it to where I want it so it really brings the car together. So, still being a moron, I'm going ahead and pushing that bad position like I just told you not to do. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do. I'm laying down the second decal, and I'm getting it really carefully aligned so that the RT looks right. Because if it's a little bit off, that RT is going to end up looking fuzzy, and you're not going to see it bright and crisp. So you really got to take your time and make sure that this decal is aligned straight. Once it's done, I'll put on a little setting solution, set this aside to dry, and then we can go ahead and head to the dreaded paint booth for the clear coat, where I'm going to pray that I don't get pinholes in the finish. But little do I realize is I have a whole different problem ready to bite me in the butt. So, as paranoid as I am about the pinhole issue, I didn't see the more immediate and pressing issue. My airbrush is dirty, and that's why the paint came out kind of orange peely. And you really couldn't see it doing anything wrong when you were doing the lighter coats. But when I was putting on the heavy coats of clear, the wet coats, I could see it just getting worse and worse. And I could actually even see the pattern coming out of the airbrush wasn't correct. And that's when I figured out what the problem was. But I went ahead, at this point now, I'm committed. I might as well put the clear on and see if it will flow out or whatever. So I go ahead and finish. And then I'll go ahead and set it aside to dry. And it's not good. It just isn't good. I didn't even get to the point of being able to have pinholes because the paint job sucked. So I never color sand my cars. I don't like it. I don't think they come out as wet and shiny looking as they do straight out of the clear. But I thought I would give it a try here. So I'm using some very low grit sanding sponges and wet sanding the car to try and get rid of that orange peel. And I end up getting through at some of the seams. Of course, this is the one time Mattel really has amazing body lines, sharp edges and seams and stuff. I get right through it. It's trash. It has to go back into the stripper and back over to the paint booth. So, anyhow, here I am back at the paint booth again. After all that work with the decals again. Laying down the competition green again. Man, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting too jaded and too careless in my builds, but lately it seems like I've been having nonstop problems with my builds, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I just need to refocus and pay a little more attention. So anyhow, I'm over here. I'm getting the competition green back down and back to a new set of decals, and I'm going through all the same steps. And by the way, the competition green, after I cleaned the airbrush out top to bottom, came out perfectly. It looks fantastic. All right. So I'm laying the decals back down, going through the whole same steps, putting the first one down, letting it dry, putting the second one down, aligning it, letting it dry, and then we'll go ahead and clear coat it. And I'm happy to say that by going straight from tack coats to wet coats, the clear coat goes down fantastic. The paint looks amazing. All right. Everything worked out that second time around. It looks great. I'm super happy with it. We can go ahead and start putting this car back together. Body and glass in, base on, screws put in, and then all we need to do is a little bit of detail paint. You gotta paint in the front grille, the tail lights, and you also have to paint in the little gas cap on the left rear quarter panel. And that needs to be chrome, and what better than Molotow chrome. But once we get all that done, the car is finished. I love the way it came out. Let's take a look at it. Well, there she is, my Dodge Charger in the sacrilegious competition green, but I think it looks amazing, okay? And Paul Bechtel, this is for you. I hope you love it, and I hope it in some way says I'm sorry for jilting you on that trade. Anyhow, I hope you all loved this video, and if you did, please give it a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to smash the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.